Alrighty, take two. I don't believe in coincidences. If this is your first time with me, welcome. If you have not been here before, but you find yourself back here again, welcome back. Okay? Probably isn't the first time. So today we're going to be breaking down a little topic called money. What exactly is money, right? And why do we all play this game of who has the most money? Where can I get money, right? Where can I get money? Why do I not have the money that I want to have? Money is a matter of energetic transfer. We say we must align ourselves with money. We must attract it. We must call money in. We must embody what it means to be the money, right? But when we really look at the deeper level, when we really look under the money, right? So in here, I have a mixture of things. I have some coins, some actual coins. Mind you, there's a coin shortage, and we're transitioning to a cashless society, a moneyless society, a coinless society. But what happens if you transition to a coinless society and a paperless society when the system that you were building, let's focus real quick. When the system that was being built off of the money, right, was tied to the same crystalline lattice structure behind Earth and in all of us. So when we look at this, right, I have the whole thing. You could say I have the world in my hands, right? The way it fell out. Let's see what fell out. So we have 6 greenhouses, right? In one hotel, right? So if I was a landlord and I gave you one greenhouse and I charged you, I'm not asking you to essentially pay to help me pay or pay for a good, I'm asking you to, it's a transfer. So I give you a house, you give me. But in return, right, as we're building houses on land, and as we're building money, and as we're printing money and circulating and spending money, we're touching. But let's look at this, right? And I know you're probably like, this is monopoly money. What does monopoly money have to do with our money? What does that have to do with our money? Everything. Everything, right? Because life is merely a game of who has the most money, or who has the houses, who has the hotels, who has the property, who made it in this society. The American dream is to, quote unquote, get rich at this point, right? But get rich means what now? Get rich means to be able to live. To get rich at this point, sorry, let me just readjust myself. To get rich at this point has become not of merit, but of tangible physical value, right? So when we forget that the physical value is built off of a spiritual backing, when we forget that each one of these dollars that are being transported and touched, right, we're forgetting that there is a system that energy is going to, because energy is real, right? Just as I wish this would focus, and it's not wanting to focus. Just as you look at this monopoly dollar, right? You can look at your regular dollar and look very closely to that regular dollar. I want you to tell me what you see. Let me see if I can find a dollar. In the meantime, see if y'all can find a dollar too. Actually, no. I don't need to find a dollar. I got some coins. We got the monopoly money for y'all. I like the coins better anyway. The coins have more story. They have more merit. So, when we look at the coins, and we're asking ourselves, what is money, right? What is money? Why do we all touch it? Why is it a transfer of hands, right? We look at the back, and we see a Georgia peach, right? And then we look closer and we read wisdom, justice, moderation, 1999. Then we see a tiny little Latin e pluribus something at the bottom. Now, you might not know what that means. I don't give a fuck what it means at this point. I'm not even going to search it up. No shame. So, when we think about money, thinking about an exchange of hands. Just as I shake this money and I might drop it in your hand, somebody else might shake a dice and throw it and pick up the dice. But if six on the dice. But if we're looking at the game of life, right? And the game of life can be equated to the Monopoly board. So on the Monopoly board, you're going around and around. And just as they have us do these poses, yes, this is me when I was a little boy. Just as they have us do these poses, there's also the full color crystal archive, right? Right? So just as we were children in a time where, crystal archives weren't really archived yet, right before 2012, there was a slip, right? And the slip could represent the dog. The slip could also represent the cat. But the slip is always bound by some system. Woo! Woohoo! Decides that system, for real. Woohoo! Decides that system. So let me look at the coins under y'all, right? Because I do have 3 coins under y'all. I like to do my juju everywhere. So we have this coin. When we fight for the moon. Let me get down again. Come on, focus, focus. When we're talking about this moon race. She did not want to focus. I'll just read it for you. Ohio, 1803, the birthplace of aviation. Pioneers, 2002. And then we see at the very bottom, again, E pluribus unum. Or E pluribus. I'm not even going to, that's just, I'm not going to speak that. Because it's all fucking spells. Just like we spell our words that we speak. Where's my hymns? Where's my psalms? Okay, it's okay. So if I pull from this deck of cards, right? Or I shake my hand and I look at what falls out by coinkadink. We look at certain coins, right? And you look at certain hands that you're dealt. You look at certain aspects of life. And you recognize I'm trying to get it to focus, y'all. There we are. Come on. It's okay, bro. I know this is a lot of energy I'm transmuting, right? Because to be a human is to fall down and get back up. And to transmute energy just as we exchange currency. So you see that? New Mexico. Land of Enchantment. Right? 2003. That also looks like a cuter. Notice how I say cuter. Notice how, looks like a computer chip. So then we look at this coin. Wilma Ankiller. That's some spooky shit, right? That's some spooky shit. The coinkadink. Hold on. What does this coin say, right? What does this coin say? Just to be fair, I did pick out all the other older models and, flip the script back to the right one. So when we're having these exchanges of coins and we're forgetting that they are tied to a greater system, and as much as we might try to deceive the greater system, when I say we, I just mean those who unknowingly are participating in the transfer of dead energy. There's a flip side. So just as there's 1999, there's 1888, 1803, 2019. River of no return. Right before 2020 COVID. So if you never look at the coins, you never see the hymns and spells that we all fall into. But God forbid, somebody comes out their mouth and is like, yeah, I do witchcraft. Then it's devilish. But if you do it and nobody else knows that you're doing it, because I guess everybody's unknowingly doing it, then it's of God. Is it not? No. No, 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 no. For you cannot deceive the true God. Okay? So, just as I intentionally put this in here, the land of no return, and I placed it in between two mirrors, and I close the land of no return, I can essentially open it back up, and it becomes the land of return, which is what I did by making this video. I don't even have to post it. Every action has a reaction. Every choice has a ripple effect. So you jump into the water and you make a ripple effect. So just as I felt the need to record this video, and I'm also talking about money, and I'm talking about energetic exchange, and we're talking about, you know, what our money means. We're looking at the backs of these coins, right? We're not looking at only the front. We're not looking at only one side of the coin. We're looking at both sides of the coin. Confirmation. So, when we look at the least amount of coin, right, the 1 cent, the one that nobody cares about, 115 on the clock, we fail to realize that the 1 cent is the foundation of everything else, right? So we say we don't have any more copper pennies. They say we don't make any more copper pennies. Well, that's because they tried to flip the copper. They tried to flip the grid to the... You see how that also looks like a shield, which also ties into the royal. All right, so when we're talking about money, again, we're talking about an exchange of energy. We're talking about an exchange of the three. Exchange. That coin does not want to let me read it. Where are you at? We're talking about a balance of things. We're talking about an energetic expression. Zaza. Guys, it's a lot of energy in here. It's the money, girl. You know how much fucking energy, because I'm transmuting everybody's energy. So everybody who's touched all of these coins, everybody who's passed all these coins, the thousands and thousands of people, just by holding this and breaking it down, I'm single-handedly collapsing timelines, right? So, it's the little things that matter. If you do it with intention, or if you bridge your subconscious mind with your conscious mind, you realize that you are part of the creation because you were tied into the creator before you even had the chance. So I'm not rich. I don't need to be rich, but I'm happy in alignment. Right? Everything back there is straight in alignment. So we're talking about disclosure. That was the painting I did 3 years ago. We're talking about the reflection. We're talking about seeing the flip side of things with this conjunction paradoxal shift coming up, you know, with Leo and all of this stuff coming up. We're basically moving into a time where what's done in the dark came to the light. So, hey, surprise, I'm back. And I'm here to tell y'all, break it down for you. No shade. So, if we look at this coin, we look at Arizona, 1912. Also on the flip side, 2008. The Grand Canyon State. So when we talk about Grand Canyons, right, we're talking about there we are. We're talking about Grand Canyons, right? We're talking about a land where they say this was from the water. They say this was carved. Not by chance, right, but by nature. So when you're talking about you're talking about something that is a reflection of nature. So when we're talking about a game and a cycle of hands, right, we're talking about the tie. Just as we all remember this man having 2 monocles, or sorry, 1, not even 2, damn, who doesn't have a monocle, right? Some people remember seeing the grid, and some people never see the grid. Some people only see the 5, right? And they worry about the money, right? And they worry about, well, what if I don't have the money? Like I say, you don't have to be rich in wealth to be rich in life. Because this is merely paper. So when we talk about money, you have to realize this is paper and this is metal. These are all balanced by 1 or 2 hands, right? So I don't necessarily try to manifest this money. Because this money is essentially dead energy, which is why they're trying to transfer us to a digital currency. Okay? Are we clocking things? Are we picking what up? Right? So, if we look at the game of Monopoly and we compare it to life, and then we get the game of apples and apples. Before I show you how apples and apples, I do have a symbol that I want to share with you all that I got from my guides and the collective. The Grand Collective. I like to call them the Golden Dawn, the Golden Avian Race, I heard somebody say. Just the when we talk about collectives, I don't know who y'all talk to. I talk to everybody. Okay, so I am everybody. Like, I'm like everybody in a physical body. You know? We all are. A lot of y'all that channel don't recognize you are. So, just as you can channel with your tarot cards, right? I can do it with my oracle deck. That is, I'm so glad that was on camera. I'm so glad that was on camera. Mind you, there are 3 Uno cards in this deck. 3 Uno cards in this entire deck. I have a mixture. I like to play with my chances, right? 3 Uno cards in this entire deck. Y'all saw that on camera. So when you're in alignment, right, and you're moving off your intuition, right? You're moving with certain things that are beyond what your eyes can perceive. So when we're talking about what your eyes can perceive, we're talking about the flip side of things. We're talking about bridging the gap between your conscious and your subconscious mind, which is the flip side, right? So just as there's apples, there's oranges. Just as we got a game of apples to apples, there was a game in the back of oranges to oranges, right? So, just got that again with the ace in the back. So when we think about the games and we think about the card games that are also tied to sacred geometry, and we think about the different patterns and shapes and different hand cards that were dealt, right? We think about the queens and kings of the land, right? We forget that the queens and kings of the land were never meant to be worshipped, but balanced. It was a time of harmony, right? So, just as we've been given these little card games to cooperate, and, you know, in return, they give us little tiny games so we never fully take the whole game. I don't give a fuck. It's my game. Okay? Clock it. I'm an aware, a consciously aware creator of my creation, right? I don't actively create my reality. I collapse reality around me, okay? My mere existence is a reflection of what happens when you fucking play with God, okay? So. Just as we have apples to apples. This is a brand new deck. I haven't even opened it. I just want to show. I'm not even going to do it. I really don't even care. Because I could read y'all with the cards, the regular cards. But just as we have apples to apples, and we have 1 green, right? They tell you that's 1 green. What's with the green? Oh, well, they tell you if you didn't have the green, you don't have the coins, right? Let's read these coins real quick. The 1 dime with the 3 torch. Yeah, they just played with nature. They just played with fucking nature. It really, it's torch and 2 plants. And then you got the eagle, right? So you got them trying to deceive natural law. You got them trying to deceive the natural order of the rhythm. So, where I come in, it's like, well, you flip the house upside down, right? So the house is already flipped back. Y'all just, I guess you're realizing it now, for real. As you watch me through my phone recording this, that we are in a time of a great paradigm, right? I was born at 3:33 too. 1929 on the clock when I say that. You just gotta embody your creation. You know, you are a creator of the creation. You are not an active participant because you, especially in this time, especially if you are aware of your abilities, especially if you know that you are not merely meant to just receive a reward, right? Just as I was given this for my excellence at one of my jobs. Oh, a front counter excellence award, right? Just as I got a trophy, right? With the star was looking back at you. So just as I got this reward, the reward was tied back to me. So you gotta realize, there's geometry and everything. There's sacred geometry, there's sacred life, there's sacred symbols, which is also why I have my room set up the way it's set up. My room is a reflection of me, right? I'm a reflection of the Creator. I'm a reflection of God. Okay? So, it's imperative that if we are trying to move from a society that isn't so focused on the material realm, we recognize that with every exchange comes a reaction. With every action comes a possibility. So, your ability to become possibility is really, it's up to you. It's up to you. I don't really need the cards, but humans, y'all like to play, and you know, that's one of the many things I got when I first awoken. Now, a lot of us think that we're just starseeds and we're from somewhere else. But in reality, we're from here, right? The illusion was that we were from somewhere else. The illusion was that we had to call out, when really we had to call in. We had to go in. It was always about going in. Because just as there's kings, there's fives. Just as there's fives, there's 13s. Just as there's 13s, there's 26s. So, just as there are kings, there's fives. Just as there's fives, there's threes. Just as there's threes, there's diamonds in the rough. Diamonds are made in the rough for a reason, right? So we got the jack of all trades, the jack of hearts. And then we got the king of hearts, completion. That's confirmation, 22:11 on the clock. You just have to fall into divine alignment. So if this found you, this found you. If it didn't, it didn't. When we talk about money, just recognize we're talking about a game of cards. We're talking about a tarot deck. I want to pull an angel card for y'all, though. I do. I have my special. I unfortunately lost my last tarot deck to an attack against not only me on the psyche level, but the spiritual and physical and every type of level. I mean, I went through a lot trying to get my message out and trying to find myself, right? You gotta die 1,000,001 times to live 1,000,001 times. I'm sorry, I'm just sitting there showing y'all my ass while I'm talking. It's okay, don't worry. I'm about to flip back around. I'm trying to put the cards back in the deck. Maybe they don't want to go back in the deck, okay? These ones don't want to go back in the deck. Why they don't want to go back in? Oh yeah, we have the king of reverse. The king of the crossroads. It's always the 3. It's always the clover. It's always the clover. And then we have the 8 of spades. Or, what is this? Diamonds. 8 of diamonds. The master number. The 4. Then we have the queen of spades. The queen of 5. Kind of the queen of pentacles. Okay. So, let me pull an angel card for y'all. And when I say y'all, I'm speaking about me, right? I'm speaking about a reflection of me. Now, if we want to talk about money, I can break down the Monopoly board a little bit more. But, actually, here, we'll do this. We'll do this. So, we'll pull a card from my angel deck. We've already done the regular cards. We'll pull a card from the angel deck. I broke down apples to apples, oranges to oranges. And how oracles and everything else might align, okay? Oh, I'm getting tired. This full moon had me up, guys. I think a lot of us, I'm congested, so if you hear my voice change, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get it out, and I'm also trying to breathe at the same time. I think a lot of us are activated during this full moon, especially with, that machine being turned off, right? So, we talk about witchcraft, and we talk about manifestation abilities, and we talk about the ability to see and feel and think about, what you can do in life. This card wants to come out. We're talking about something that's emerging. right? We're talking about the possibilities. We're talking about the get out of jail free card, which is essentially what this entire video has been about. Just as they put 1936, they put 2018. Just as there was 2018, there was the 11121, 2521 on the clock, as I say that. So when we look at things, right, when we look at these cards and we look at angel numbers and we talk about angel numbers, we have to realize this is one of the best decks. Okay, so if you can find, this is an old deck. This is from 1999 or 1998. One of the years, okay? So just as that one card, was this 99? Yeah, so just as the Georgia Peach was 99 before the 2000s, this was also from 2000. So, again, she denounced it. She's a Christian. But her old work is angelic and in alignment. So, with that being said, Miss Virtue, I hear you, girl. I hear your soul. I hear your soul. It's okay. I know, baby. I know. They got, it's all right. You ain't even gotta. A lot of light workers. A lot of light workers are attacked, right? I'm getting trust. Trust what, Spirit? Trust what? My inner guidance? That's what I'm hearing. Trust, study. So this is going to be a time of trusting and studying. Playfulness. Playfulness, the rainbow. You see how there's a rainbow at the top of the card? Study yourself, right? Study the manifestations and miracles. I'm getting miracles too. Study the manifestations and miracles of life, right? Forgiveness is going to be key. Letting go. You have to let go in order for things to flow. She doesn't want to focus. Hey, let's focus. You have to let go in order for things to flow. So when you find the flow of things, right, you find the new love. You find the emergence. This ties right back to the emergence card. Where's my emergence card? Okay. So I was looking for the emergence card and I pulled 2 more cards. So we got signs and miracles. We're moving into a time of miracles. We're moving into the essential gold age, right? So the golden age isn't of gold, right? But a remembrance that we are a reflection, right? So just as I take this cheetah off, right, the cheetah comes back with me, inside of me, because you are not just God. Children, you are a reflection of God. Now, the emerging card seems to have hidden itself, unless I put it back in the deck. She wants to not emerge right now. Woo! Y'all saw that fly. Yes, Lord. Divine guidance. You are being divinely guided. If you are seeing this, you are me. Okay? I am you. You are me. We are we. We are both being divinely guided. When we talk about children, we talk about everything happening to the children. We're talking about the most pure form of energy. We're talking about God's literal children. We're talking about the manifestation of miracles. The manifestation of the rainbow, right? We're talking about the manifestation. To study is to be all-encompassing. To study the creation. To study the creation is to view the creator. To view the creator is to be a part of the operation. To be a part of the operation is to, quote unquote, be what we call the operator. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So to be in alignment is to be empowered. To be empowered is not a necessary hand, right? So just because you have this and you may have this and they may throw you this, and somebody else may have this, while somebody else may hold on to this so effortlessly, right? As they think, right? They think they're holding on to something. Your voice is your power. So just as you speak things into existence, the things around you fall into play, right? So when we talk about manifestation, now is the utmost time of manifestation, because it's a matter of attracting the ability to create. Okay, you're not just asking, you're creating, you're demanding. And you're not demanding because you're yelling or you're screaming, right? We flipped it on divine guidance and abundance. You're demanding because you know this is your birthright. You know this is for you, right? And I know this is for me. Okay, so I feel this for all of us, right? I feel a transfer of wealth, a transfer of the hands, right? Because there's intention and trust. So just as we've all been up here reading and all been up here doing our energetic experiences and enlightening other people and paying our energy, right? They wanted us to believe that healers weren't something of value. Then we had a lot of people in the spiritual community charging a lot of value. But because a lot of rich people were paying for that, right? You talk about being connected to source. You talk about being able to transmute energy. Being able to transmute energy is being able to surrender and release. So just as there may be monitoring spirits in your life or my life, right? I combat them with playfulness. Because nobody can touch the inner spark of my life, right? Nobody can touch the emergence of me. So just as she goes from 2D to 3D, right? We go from 3D and beyond. So, when you think about manifestation, this is all on top of each other. You think about abundance, right? We're talking about retreating. I knew that was going to be under it too. I'm gonna flip this so y'all can see it in live time. We're talking about retreating into the enchantment of life, right? Into the children, your childlike tendencies. God is asking you to go back into your childlike tendencies, right? Forgiveness is key to truth integrity. You have to forgive yourself. A lot of us are working through karmic debt for everybody, not just our families, but everybody who's been hidden. So, the reason music becomes so apparent in a time of distress, in a time of need, is because the world needs Michael Jackson, right? The world needs a miracle. The world needs somebody to be that voice. The world needs you, right? So just as much of an effect as Michael Jackson had on the world, Michael Jackson altered nature by putting his light. Michael Jackson wasn't just Michael Jackson, okay? Michael Jackson was a reflection of the divine creation, but he got very young. I'm not going to say the certain words, but they got him, okay? Right into the system. Some of our lights cannot be taken, which is why they fear, okay? They fear your freedom, right? So God is telling you, your freedom is what they fear, okay? And your freedom is the ability to express and create. Your ability to express and create and connect to your ancestors through music is your forgiveness, right? Whether or not you realize it, your subconscious mind is healing. Your subconscious mind is healing because you're listening through, dreams. That might be for me because I love my dreams, okay? A lot of us, if you do dream, you are not just seeing another possible. You're going to different worlds, right? We're talking about the dream world. We're talking about different dimensions. Harmony. Falling into harmony is key to listening. So the reason I record these messages, right, is because I find it better for me to get my words out if I'm relaying it to a camera, right? Relaying it to something that I can look at with my eyes and see, because a lot of us don't even believe what we hear and feel when we think about talking to spirit guides. We discern different energies and different vibrations and what we may be feeling. So we have to essentially as humans, balance through our dreams and our guardian angels, because we as humans are the link between. I want y'all to see that, right? So our dreams and our guardian angels, we are the link between. So when you look over to your dreams and you say, well, it's only a dream, your guardian angel is telling you, no, it's not only a dream. You saw it because it happened. So you stop looking at that as a dream and start looking at it as, that's my guardian angel. And that's my divine guidance. And that's my inner calling, your inner compass. So if you get your inner compass through music, if you get it through manifesting, however you manifest, it's the little things that matter, right? The little things that matter is going to bring you abundance. So, serenity right on the bottom. Thank you so much for being here. I just want to say, if you got this message, it was meant to be. A lot of my messages don't get sent anywhere, and I don't believe in coincidences, okay? I don't, because I think to be born on this planet that is in such turmoil, in such a time of desperate need for real individuality and love with one another, is to be in a time of change. And to be in a time of change and to be the one that embraces that change, that's something special. So, love yourself. I love you. You are me. We are we. And I am I. Okay? But we are all a part of a bigger picture. So let's make sure each one of our individual expressions make an expression. Okay? Bye-bye.